Shalom, you highly welcome my dear brothers and sisters out there. I'm glad that you just clicked to watch this message today. In today's message, I'm going to be talking about keep my commandments. You need to be able to understand the reason why Yahushua said, if you love me, keep my commandments. So, what I want you to understand is that Yahushua has his own commandments. Keep my commandments. Is he talking about the commandment that was being written in the book of Exodus chapter number 20? He said, keep my own commandments. If you love me, keep my commandments. So we need to be able to understand what is his own commandment. Because you see, some people are trying to do what? Are trying to make you think that the commandment that Yahushua is talking about is to bring you back into the law of Moses. They don't understand the mystery of what Yahushua was talking. The commandments of Yahushua is for the spirit beings. And the commandment of Moses is what is for the fleshy beings. So these are two running parallel in the earth at the same time. So when Yahushua said, if you love me, keep my commandments. So we need to be able to see and ask ourselves a question. What is the commandments of what? Of Yahushua? Because if you are to keep a commandment that belongs to Yahushua, then that means you have to do what? Know what is that commandment. And what is it exactly? So we are going to be seeing, according to the scripture, to see what are those commandments that belongs to Yahushua, because he said keep my commandments. So he has a one that he has already done what he has expressed that belongs to him. That is to say, if you want to do what, if you want to be part of me, this is my commandment which I want you to follow. This is the one that you need to do what you need to be part of. Listen to what the Bible says. It said in the book of that 1 John chapter number 3. 1 John chapter number 3 from verse number 11. We are going to start reading from verse 11. Say, for this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. So this is the message that we heard from the beginning, that we should do what? Love one another. We're talking about general now. You have to do what? You have to express that love towards one another. Now I want us to go down from verse number 18, because I want us to see something there. It says, my little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue. Do not just say it. Do not just say it. You have to do what? You have to show it. Now listen to what the Bible says. But indeed, we are not just to love in words or in tongue, but in deed and in truth. That is to say, you have to do what? You have to show them love in what? In Yahushua. You have to express that love in what? In Yahushua. Because remember what the Bible makes us to understand about Yahushua. He said, I am the way. Yahushua said that I am the way, the truth, and what? And life. And no man cometh unto the Father except through me. So we know that what? If you are to express love, you are going to do what? When you express it through Yahushua, you need to be able to understand that you are now in agreement. You need to be able to understand you are now in agreement with what? With his own commandment. So we are going to be seeing first, what is the agreement? What is the commandment that he's talking about? What is the agreement? What is the commandment that Yahushua is talking about that is his own commandment? Because like you see, the Bible makes us to understand that what, for we to show this love, we have to show it in truth, not just in words. You have to show it in what? In action. And how do you put it in action? In order to do what? To bring people into what? Into that place of what? Of truth. To bring that individual into what? Into that place of what? Of purity. Into that spirit realm. Listen to what the Bible says in verse number 19. It said, and hereby we know that we are of the truth. This is how we are going to know that we belong to Yahushua. Remember, Yahushua said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. So he said that this is how we are going to know that we belong to Yahushua. And shall assure our heart before him. We know that through when we love, when we show love, when we express this love, when we express this love towards one another, we know that we are what? We are in Yahushua. Listen to what the Bible says here. It said, for if our heart condemn us, Elohim is greater than what? Our heart, and knoweth all things. Beloved, if our heart condemn us not, then have we confidence toward Elohim. So if your heart condemn you, if your heart is condemning you because you are not keeping a certain law, then that means you are not yet what? You do not know what love is all about. This is what this particular passage is saying. It says here, for if our heart condemn us, if you are trying to do what? If you are trying to keep a commandment, but your heart is condemning you, then that means you do not know who the Most High is. That is to say, you do not know who the Creator is, because you don't know what love is all about. Because there is no how you will be in love, you will be loving, and your heart will be doing what? Will be condemning you towards something. And your heart will be condemning you because he has already said that what? He has his own commandment. So if you are keeping that particular commandment, which is his, and And what is that commandment? The commandment is to do what? Is to be able to love one another. Because if you love one another in Yahushua, you are fulfilling that command, that his own commandment. So where is condemnation going to come through you? There is no way that condemnation will have a place, because you are now keeping to the commandment of what? Of Yahushua. So, but if you have condemnation within your heart, that shows that there is something wrong with the commandment that you are keeping. Did you understand what I just said? If you have condemnation, you are not supposed to have condemnation. If you have condemnation in your heart, then that means you do not know what perfect love is all about. You do not have no idea. You have not started loving. Because you are to have a clear conscience. But you see what is going on in the scripture. You see that people who are under the law of Moses, they do not even understand the mystery of what is all about, what love is all about. I'm telling you the honest truth. Listen what the Bible says. We continue in verse number 21. Beloved, if our heart condemns us not, if your heart do not condemn you, you see then have we confidence toward Elohim. And whatsoever we ask, we receive of him, because we keep his commandments. Whatsoever you ask, as long as you are keeping his commandments, whatsoever you ask, you are going to do what you are going to receive. Why? Because you are in tune. You are loving one another. You show love. So what is going to prevent you from receiving something? What is that is going to prevent you? Because you are keeping his commandment. Listen to what the Bible says here. It said, because we keep his commandment and do those things that are pleasing in his sight. Now we need to be able to understand what then is his commandments. What then? Because when you keep that commandment, which is what? Which is to love one another. So you are loving one another, and now when you love one another, you're already keeping the commandment of Yahushua. So whatsoever you need is going to do what? Whatever you ask is going to be what? Granted unto you. Because why? You are keeping his commandment. But if you have if your heart is condemning you, then that means you cannot have access, because there is something that is drawing you back from receiving from what? From the Most High. Because why? Because there is a condemnation that is pulling you back. Now listen to what the Bible says, because the Bible is about to show us now what is the commandment of who? Of Yahushua. What is his commandment? Because remember, his commandment is there. So he's talking about the spirit beings now. So now this commandment is what I want us to see. You see, and this is his. Do you remember? Do you understand the reason why there is his here? His commandments. This is his commandment. This is Yahushua's commandment. What is his commandment? Listen to what the Bible says. And this is his commandment, that we should believe on the name of Yahushua, the Son, Yahushua, who? Hamashiach. We ain't talking about Jesus. They put Jesus there, but we know that the name Jesus is a false name. So we go by the Hebrew name, which is already in there, and that name is Yahushua. So he said that what? That this is his commandment, that we should believe on the name. We should believe on the name of who? Of Yahushua Hamashiach. What is that name? That name is what? Is truth. And when you obey that name, that is, so when you believe on that name, then that means you are what? In tune with what? With truth, because you have love for the truth. Did you understand what I just said? You are in tune with the truth because you have love for the truth. That is the reason why you have to search whatsoever you are searching in order to do what? To get to the truth. So you showed love for the truth. So you are expressing love through the truth. You are expressing love by trying to do what? By trying to get the knowledge, by trying to pray to the Father to be able to elevate mankind through what? Through the knowledge of truth. So these things are here. This is his commandment, that we should do what? That we should believe on the name of who? Yahushua Hamashiach, which is the truth. Now listen to what the Bible says. And love one another. You see? That we should believe on the name of Yahushua Hamashiach, which is the truth. And do what? And love one another. This is his commandment. This is his commandment. This is his own commandment. Did you see it? Listen to what the Bible says. It says, as he gave us commandments. So this is the commandment that he gave to. This is the two commandments that you are seeing. Love yourself, love your neighbor. That is to say, everything that you are seeing, he said that love, that you should believe on the name of Yahushua Hamashiach and do what? And love yourself. And love one another, because if you love yourself, then that means you're going to love one another which is around you. So you need to be able to see that what? He said that we should keep his commandment. So we already see that this particular commandment that he's talking about is about what? Expressing, knowing, believing on the name of Yahushua, and also doing what? And also loving one another. But you see other people who are out here, they try to do what? They have that guilt. So because they can't keep it, this commandment is not in them. There is no way when you have guilt, you are trying to, you show condemnation even towards your own self. Inside of you, you don't even, your mind is not even clear towards one another. You are here cursing, telling them that the white man is the devil. You are here cursing that the Africans are your problems. You are here causing all kind of things, trying to bring all kind of things to say, because the inside of you, you are already feeling condemned. There's condemnation inside of you. You have not dealt with your own self. There's a problem lingering inside of you because you have that hate. You have that hate. You are under the law of Moses and you are trying to use it on your own to be able to do what? To be able to manipulate other beings down here because you don't know what love is all about. You don't know what love, even you don't know the direction of where the love is going to. You need to be able to understand, just like what happened with all these the scribes and the Pharisees. What happened during the time when they brought the woman? You know, they brought it to Yahushua and they said, oh, they caught this woman in an act of an adultery. So, and the moment they caught that woman in an act of adultery, they wanted to tempt Yahushua. They say they want to stone her to death. And they asked Yahushua, what do you say about this? I mean, look at these hypocrites. They are under the law of Moses. They are the ones who are trying to say that they are under the law of Moses. So now they brought somebody in front of Yahushua. And every last one of them that brought that woman in front of Yahushua, every last one of them has, inside of them, there is something that is they have condemnations in their own heart, all of them. There is something that is already weighing them. They know that they are guilty of the same crime that they are charging this lady, this woman off. But they brought her to Yahushua, tempting to know what Yahushua is going to say. You know, but the master teacher is already there, already knows the intentions of those them vipers. Just like you see a lot of them today. He already knew what's the intention of those them vipers. He said to them, let's go to that particular passage in the book of John, because I want us to see right there into the book of John. To the book of John to see chapter number 8. We're going to read into the book of John chapter number 8 to see what happened right there, because you need to be able to be equipped. Listen to what the Bible says. Say Yahushua went into the Mount of Olives. And early in the morning he came again into the temple, and all the people came unto him and sat down and taught him, and taught them, that is, he taught them. And the scribes and Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in idolatry, that Moses in the law commanded that such should be stoned. But what says that? What are you saying on this case? This they say, tempting him that they might have to accuse him. But Yahushua stooped down and with his finger wrote on the ground, as though he had them not. So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, he that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her. Did you understand what happened here? This is a situation where Yahushua just came down from Mount. And what happened? In this particular place, these them scribes, the Pharisees, they brought this lady. They brought her to Yahushua. They said that they caught her on a very act of idolatry. So now, the moment they saw these things, they say that what do you say? Because they already, all these them vipers already knew what they were trying to do. That is to say, their intentions toward Yahushua. They wanted to find something against him. But Yahushua, who is the master, already knew what their intentions were, and he already knew what he was about to tell to them, you know, to be able to do what, to send them into their places. So now he said to them in verse number 7, he said to them, so when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, he that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her. Let the first person who think that he has not committed no crime be the first person to do what? To cast a stone on this woman. What was he trying to let them know? So at that moment, he wanted to know, are they going to all of them judge their own self at that point? Or even before this time, they all already judged themselves. They knew that they were all what? They were all sinners to the same crime. To the same crime. They were all guilty of the same crime. So but what the intention of Yahushua is, these people need to do what? They need to first of all judge their own self before they can judge this woman. So what happened? The moment he said this, all of them went into their own self. They went into their inner mind and they start condemning their own self. Why? Because they were all guilty of the same crime that they were what? That they were charging this woman of. They were all guilty of the same breaking of the law. So which means all these them vipers were supposed all to be stoned to death if this woman was to be stoned to death. Because they were all guilty. In the law of Moses, if you broke one, you are as guilty of somebody who broke the 613 laws. So you were to be stoned to death. So this woman, why do you people want to put her to death? Why? Because she committed an adultery? You said she committed an adultery, you caught her on the very act, which means she broke a law. So you all are guilty of the same crime you are trying. So what happened at that time? Now what happened? All of them had to drop the stone and get out from his own face. Why am I trying to let you know? These people all had guilt. They have condemnation within them. And these people are the people who are trying to say that they are the keepers of the law of the Moses. They are trying to protect the law, which they are all guilty of. It's just like today, you see a lot of people who have condemnations in their hearts. And they try to say that they are trying to keep the law of Moses, that they are trying to go in on the Shabbat, and they are trying to do all these things in order to do what? In order to keep what they know nothing about. We're going to be seeing the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy that is in the heart of all these damn people. Because they know that they are not keeping anything. They know that these things that they are saying that they are keeping, they ain't keeping nothing. So why are they being so hypocrite? Why are they so big? Why are these people really heartless? Why are they heartless? Because they know that none of them. Can you tell me all you dumb down people who are trying to say that you are keeping the law of the Moses? Are you saying that if the 613 laws which is being given by Moses, if all of them are being brought to you now, you will confidently say that you are keeping all of them? Would you say that you are keeping every last one of them? So you know right now that your conscience is already judging you that you are guilty of what? Of the law. So you cannot come into the what? Into the confidence. You can't come even into you can't approach into the presence of the Most High with boldness. Because you say you are under the law of Moses. But under that law, you are guilty of the law that you say you are under it. You testify, you have testimony to your own self that you are a breaker of the law which you have already pledged allegiance to keep that law. So you are now guilty of that particular law. Let's continue. I want to show you something that the Bible is talking about. We're going to the same book where we were, into the book of the same book of John. Let's go to the book of John, Romans chapter number 8. I want to show you something there. It said there, because you see, a lot of beings who are here, they try to make people feel condemned within their own self. You are under the law of Moses. You know you are not free. You know always you are bound with what? With condemnation every single day. Because there is no how you can keep nothing. All of these beings, entities down here who are trying to force you to go back under the law of Moses, they know that these things are for man, and these things are there to be able to subject condemnation into your heart. You will always be condemned. How you are under condemnation when you are under that particular law? Because you know that within you can't keep the 613 law. There is no single day you are going to feel free. So you are not a free being. This is something that is being made for man. Now listen to what the Bible says. So you have a condemnation, trying to keep the law of Moses, but you can. But still you are trying to be so hypocritical because you see those leaders are trying to put fear inside of your heart because you don't know what really the commandment of Yahushua is. You can't differentiate between the commandment of Yahushua and the commandment of flesh, because the commandments of Yahushua is what is for the spirit beings, whereas the commandment of the one that was being given in Mount Sinai are for the fleshy beings. You need to be able to understand and differentiate the two of them. So now you are under the one that is being given in Mount Sinai. You are under that law. You are under the man's law. So this man's law that you are under makes you to have hatred, makes you to be trapped, makes you to be a low vibrational being, makes you to be somebody that is what? That is just hated against one another. So these things does not bring you up. You are what? You are just equivalent to you are a low vibrational entity. So you have a condemnation within you. There is condemnation in your heart. Listen to what the Bible says in the book of Romans chapter number 8. It says, there is therefore no condemnation to them which are in what? In Yahushua HaMashiach, who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit. Did you see what the Bible said there? It said there is no condemnation. You are not supposed to have condemnation, but you are under the law of Moses. Tell me, don't you feel condemned if you miss Shabbat? If you miss your Saturday Shabbat? Don't you feel condemned if you don't go to if you break any of these laws? Don't you feel condemned? You don't understand what is happening. You don't understand that you are into that condemnation. But to those who are in Yahushua, The people who are in the truth, the people who are expressing love, there is no condemnation to them. There is no condemnation to those who are in Yahushua HaMashiach. You don't feel no condemnation. Who is going to condemn you when Yahushua said that what? This is my commandment, keep my commandment, and that commandment that he said, keep my commandment, you are fulfilling it. What again is he going to talk about you? He gave you a commandment and you obeyed it. What else are you talking about? But the Father gave you commandment and you people broke it. So now you are living in guilt. So but Yahushua gave you a commandment, and you, the children of the Spirit beings, he gave you a commandment and you kept it. So you don't have no condemnation. But these other beings who are under the law of Moses, they have a condemnation before them. Why? Because they can't keep to that law. This is the reason why every day you wake up, you are not feeling happy. Because you know that there is a condemnation on your neck. You know you are not keeping any 613 laws. You are just like this, the Pharisees, the scribes, hypocrites. Even including your leaders, the people who are calling themselves prophets. Prophets everywhere. They don't even know the name of the creator which they are using. Just watch all of them in their mouth. They have different names which they don't know nothing about. They don't have no love. They try to tell you that the white man is their problem. They try to tell you that the Africans are their problem. You see how dumb a lot of you are? They're using the negative energy to trap you people down. They are trying to inject hatred upon you people's life. Because you are not inclined. You don't understand what is going on. You don't understand that it's not everybody that you see black that is a black person. You think that everyone that is dark then is your brother or something. You don't understand what is happening. We are in a spiritual warfare. There are entities who are on a black skin that does not represent your interest at all. So they are here in order to trap souls. So you are feeling condemned because you don't know what love is all about. You don't understand the mystery of the truth. You don't understand. The veil is still blind in you. Listen to what the Bible says. It says, there is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Yahushua. You feel free. You are a freeborn. There's no condemnation. This is the reason why you have boldness. You have boldness to approach the throne of His Majesty. You say, Father, you said that I should do this. I did it. So Father, even before you come there, the Father has already prepared your things. So whatsoever that belongs to you, your things are there for you. So He can't deprive you of your rights. Because He made a commandment. He said, this is my beloved Son in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye Him. And the Son came, and the moment that He spoke, He said, this is my word, this is my commandment. And you heard the word, so you obeyed both the Father and the Son. So therefore, you have us. So this is the reason why you need to be able to understand that the moment you obey Yahushua, you are automatically obeying the Father. The moment you obey the commandment of Yahushua, you are automatically obeying the commandment of our Heavenly Father. Because this is the word of our Heavenly Father made manifest. And the moment that this word came forth, the word established its own commandment, which is the two commandments that the Bible is making us to understand. That the commandment is to what? Is to obey. That is, in another words, to believe in the name of Yahushua and do what? And love one another. And when you obey this commandment, which is the two commandments which Yahushua gave, you are automatically obeying the word of what? Of our Heavenly Father. That is to say, the commandment of our Heavenly Father. Because it was our Heavenly Father who said that what? This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Therefore, hear ye Him. In another sense, whatsoever He said is what? Is everything. So this Son, this word which is being made manifest, made something, that is to say, made His own commandment, and said that what? This is my commandment. And when you follow that commandment, you are automatically in perfect harmony with what? With the Father, with what the Father has said. You need to be able to understand what is happening. Now listen to what the Bible says in verse number 2 of the Romans chapter number 8. It says, for the law of the Spirit of life in Yahushua, HaMashiach, for the law of the Spirit of life in Yahushua hath made me free. You see, had made me free from the law of sin and death. You have no play, you have no part in the law of sin and death. You are not part of those damn people, because there is a commandment that Yahushua has already set forth. There's a commandment which He has obeyed, He has already spoken out, which is His own commandment, and you are obeying that law, that is that commandment. And when you obey that commandment, I mean, you are a spirit being. So that is something something for the spirit being. You need to be able to understand. That is the reason why this particular passage is saying, for the law of the spirit. What is the law of the spirit? Love. What is the law of the spirit? Show one another love. To be able to do what? To express love to one another. That is to say, show man can express, bring forth that love. Listen to what the Bible says. Say here, for the law of the spirit of life of in Yahushua HaMashiach had made me free. That has made you free. Well, that is the confidence that you have. That is to say, the trust that you put in Yahushua, in the word. That is to say, the confidence that you put in Yahushua gives you boldness and be able to do what and make you free. Listen to what the Bible says. It says, have made me free from the law of sin and death. That is to say, have made you free from what? From that law which you are under. Because that law of sin and death, which is the law which was being given to Moses, it was being written, if you do this, if you committed this, those who did this are going to be stoned to death. These are the things which are written in the law of Moses. So you are not free if you are under that law of sin and death. You are not free if you are trying to be keeping those them 613 laws. You are being, you are what? Your conscience is not clear. You are not a free being. You are in chains. Can't you see it? Can't you see that you are in chain? Can't you see that somebody is trapping you? That if you don't go to Shabbat on Saturday, you feel guilty? Can't you see it? Can't you see that you have been trapped? This is what you need to be able to understand. But those who are in Yahushua, those who have that love, that universal love, that love towards one another, those who obey the word, these people are what? These are free beings. These people have a clear conscience. They are afraid of nothing. I mean, you need to be able to understand these are free beings, because you need to be able to understand that the law which is in the universe, the law which the Son has already spoken of, which is already in the universe, the Bible makes us to understand, as soon as you are in perfect harmony with this law of loving one another, of doing what, of obeying and following the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, you are already fulfilling everything. So you have an access. You have a direct access in order to approach the throne with all boldness, unlike the people who are under the law of Moses. They can't approach the throne of grace with boldness. Why? Because in them they have conscience that is already judging them. Their own conscience is bearing witness against them. You have a conscience. And your conscience is telling you, you who is trying to say that you are keeping the law, the Torah and every other things, within you, you know you are a hypocrite. You know you are not keeping the 613 law. So inside of you, the law is already condemning you. It's telling you that you are a hypocrite. And you can hear it even right now as I'm talking to you. You know that you are not keeping nothing. So you are a hypocrite. Your own law, the law that you are talking about, is already judging you and is condemning you. And your heart is bearing witness against you that you ain't keeping nothing. So you need to be able to understand what is happening. So you're already condemning yourself. And when you condemn, listen to what the Bible says. Let me take you briefly back to the book of John. Let me take you back to the book of John, chapter number 3, and show you what the Bible says. It said there in chapter number 3, from verse number 20, it said, for if our heart condemn us, if the law is condemning you, who is under the law, as the law is condemning you, you or your own consciousness is condemning you, that you are breaking the law, that you are under that law. That is to say, if your heart condemns you, how much more our Heavenly Father? Listen to what the Bible says. If our heart condemns us, Elohim is greater than our heart and knoweth all things. So if you don't even have a clear conscience, if you have, within you that you are breaking a certain law, you are already going against a certain law, then that means you know that there's something that you have a cockroach. You are not perfect in love. You've not yet been perfect in love. You've not yet been perfected in the knowledge of His highness. You need to be able to understand those who love. Because when you love through Yahushua, you can be able to see and understand the mystery of things, what is going on. You need to be able to understand that the people who are in Yahushua, these people have surpassed the things about them, law of sin and death. These people are a different being. These people are spirit beings. Listen to what the Bible says. In verse number 3, it says, for what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh. What the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh. Elohim sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh. He said that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us. That the righteousness, what is the righteousness of the law? What is the righteousness of the law? Where is the law pointing you in order to love one another? But you see people who are trying to do what? They are trying to put you under that particular hate means to be able to tell you that that it is this person that is his problem. It is that individual that is his problem. Always trying to point finger at somebody else, trying to say that that individual is where his problem lies, because he tried to do what disseminate hatred towards you against one another. Instead of, you need to be able to understand that the Bible makes us to understand, let that love which is in you shine forth. Listen to what the Bible say here. Listen to what the Bible says in verse number 4. He said that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk not after the flesh. You are not walking after the flesh, but after the Spirit. You need to do what? You need to move after the Spirit, which is the ruach, which is the truth. You need to be able to understand, for they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh. You need to be able to understand, but they that are after the Spirit do the things of the Spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. It's life and peace. Listen to what the Bible says. But the carnal mind is enmity against what? Against. Did you see that these people are really making themselves enemies? That is to say, they are bringing themselves, just like they say what happened during the time of Apostle Shaul, when he was working hard to try to think that he was protecting the what? The law, not knowing that he was fighting against Yahushua. So Apostle Shaul made himself an enemy to what? To Yahushua. Did you understand it? He made himself an enemy to Yahushua. And this is exactly what these them entities who are trying to put you back under the law, who do not understand what the commandment of Yahushua is. This is what they are trying to do, in order to do what? To push you back under the what? Under the law. Therefore, they are making themselves enemies to what? To the free beings. You need to be able to understand, they are in chains. They have condemnations every day in their life. They know that they don't keep nothing. You need to be able to understand what is going on. Now listen to what the Bible says here. It says, but to be carnal is, because the carnal mind is enmity against Elohim, for it is not subject to the law of what? Of Elohim. What is the law? What is the law of Elohim? To be able to do what? To love one another, to obey that word, to be able to do what? To see that name, believe in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, and be able to do what? And love one another. But they are going against this. They are not following the righteousness of the law, but they are trying to do what? They are trying to deviate you from the righteousness of the law. Now listen to what the Bible say here. It say here in verse number 7, it say, because in verse number 8, it say, so then they that are of the flesh cannot please Elohim. You are in the flesh, you can't please Elohim. He said, but ye are not in the flesh. You're talking about the children of the Most High. You are not in the flesh, you are a spirit being. This is the reason why you have love in you. This is the reason why you have love. This is the reason why you will be, this is who you are. You can't change it. Some people you need to be able to understand what is going on this dimension. Some people are born here in order to, they have nothing in their heart, or just hatred. And some people are being born here, and what they can only express is love. This is who they were being born to be. Some people are being born to hate. That is to say, they have this hate mind in them. This is who they are. They express it to the fullest. And some people are being born to be able to do what? To have that love to take the love to any extent. So you need to be able to understand what is happening. Listen to what the Bible says here. Say, so they that are in the flesh cannot please Elohim. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit. If so be that the spirit of Elohim dwell in you. If so be that Yahushua dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the spirit of Elohim, of Mashiach, he is not of his. If you are not in the truth, if you are not in the truth of Yahushua, if you are not there, in order to uplift, in order to share the commandment of Yahushua, you are not part of his. He said, and if Mashiach be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the spirit is life because of righteousness. Now, verse 11 is saying, but if the spirit of him that raised Mashiach, Yahushua, from the dead dwell in you, he that raised up Mashiach from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by his spirit that dwelt in you. Therefore, brethren, we are debtors not to the flesh. You ain't owing no flesh nothing, to live after the flesh. For if you live after the flesh, you shall die. But if you through the spirit do mortally the deeds of the body, you shall live. For as many as are led by the spirit of Elohim, they are the sons of what? Of Elohim. You need to be able to understand that the people who are being led by the spirit of Elohim, that is the spirit of Yahushua, those who are being led, these are the ones that are called the sons of the Most High. These are the ones that are called what? The free beings. So when you see all these beings who are trying to put condemnation upon you, you need to be able to understand that there's something still wrong with what? With you all. You have condemnation every day. You are not free. Your mind is what is already been polluted by some imaginary beings that you know nothing about, which are here, which are going to be tied. You know, they are going to be put in their place very soon. They are going to be in chains. Because they are here to be able to do what? To trap some entities. Just because somebody is dark-skinned does not mean nothing. You need to be able to understand we are talking about a spiritual warfare that is going in this particular dimension. You need to be able to be elevated in the knowledge of what is really going on. Now I want to take you to the book of John, chapter number 8. The Bible says in the book of John, chapter number 8, from verse number 36. Let's go to the book of John, chapter number 8, from verse number 36. The Bible says here, if the Son therefore shall make you free, you shall be free indeed. Did you see the reason why? Did you understand the reason why the Bible says indeed? Because some people think that they are free, but they are not free. They think that they are free, but they are not free. They are what? They are in chain. They are being trapped by what? By that law which was being given in what? In Mount Sinai, which is holding them bondage, which is putting condemnation in their heart, which is drawing them back instead of what? Instead of them moving forward, this condemnation is holding them back. Because why? They are under what? They are under that particular law instead of the law of the Spirit of life, which is what? Which is to be able to do what? To love one another. They try to tell you all kind of things what against the real law of Yahushua. You need to be able to understand what is going on. The Father said, "This is my beloved Son in whom I am well pleased." He made it very clear. You see, during the time of John the Baptist, the dove descended upon Yahushua, and a voice came from heaven and said, "This is my beloved Son in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. Listen to him." So now, this word is here because the word became flesh. So when the word became flesh, the word now starts doing what? Bringing forth his own commandments. So this is the reason why the word said, "And this is my commandment, that we should love one another, that we should obey the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, and be able to do what? And love one another." In this commandment is everything that we needed. Therefore, if you obey this commandment, which is the greatest of all, if you obey this commandment, because if you love your own self, you love the Creator. So, but if you have a problem with your own self, this is the reason why you have hate of people. Because you don't even love your own self, you don't even know who you are. That is the reason why you are hating everybody. You say the white man is your problem, African is your problem, Asia, whatsoever you see, you point hard to that individual and say that that individual is your problem. Why? Because inside of you, you have a problem with you. You is a problem of you. You are a problem of your own self. So, but if you are a free being, you know that there is something different. You know that there is something higher than this physical, because you have been living in what you're too living with about you. And this is the reason why the people who are under the law, these are born people. The law is for what? It's for babes. The law of sin and death is for babes. It's for children. It's for fleshy beings. You need to be able to be elevated for those who can see. For those who need to be able to be elevated in the knowledge of truth. Let's go to the book, because I just want to show you something, my dear brothers and sisters out there. We see what happened in the book of John. Let's go back to the book of John there. Let's go back to the book of John, my dear brothers and sisters out there. The book of 1 John, chapter number 3. We continue just verse 24. It says, "And he that keepeth his commandments dwelleth in him, and he in him. And hereby we know that he abideth in us, by the Spirit which he gave unto us." Did you see it? This is how we know that we are in him. Because why? He gave a commandment and we kept the commandment. So when you keep the commandment, there is no condemnation to those who are in Yahushua HaMashiach. So you don't have no worry to be able to do what? Because nobody can be able to do what? To condemn you. How can somebody condemn you when there is a law that is being given into what that has already been given and you are obeying the law? The law of the universe, the law of the spirit, the law of the spirit realm. You are in perfect harmony with the law of the spirits, and now you have boldness to approach the grace. But you see people who are here, they don't understand what is really going on, the spiritual warfare over their own souls. They don't know that there are entities down here who are specifically we have been sent in order to trap them down here. So this is the reason why you see them, they are under bondage. They miss Shabbat. They be like they have been trapped. You know, they be like they feel guilty. Just like the Christians who do not go to church on Sunday, they feel guilty. Oh, they don't go to church. That means they have sinned against God. They don't go to Shabbat. Oh, they have sinned against God. They have this guilt in their own heart. They have this guilt in their own mind. Why? Because they are in bondage. They don't overstand. They are under that law of sin and death. Whenever they go out and they have no, now you need to be able to overstand. I'm not here condoling, asking you to go and be sinning. The Bible makes us to overstand. Shall we all sin because of grace? Shall we continue sinning because that grace may abound? The Bible makes us to overstand. Allah Him forbid. But you don't overstand the mystery. This is the reason why you might be thinking that way. We can't continue in sin that grace may abound. But what you need to be able to understand, the difference between the spirit of life and the law of flesh. Because if you obey the spirit of life, that is a new dimensional being. These are two separate people. So you have to grow as you are in the spirit of life, as you are among the sons of the Most High. There is hierarchy there. And here, you already know that this is something that is being made for carnally beings. So they are here. So when the Bible talks about keep my commandments, Yahushua has his own commandments. That is the commandment that came out of his mouth. And that is the reason why when the Father said, "This is my beloved Son, hear ye him." Whenever you obey the commandment of Yahushua, you are fulfilling what the Father has said. Very simple. So whatsoever